Hello everyone, welcome to G Advanced 2018 Paper 1 Physics Solutions. Section 1 Maximum Marks 24. This section contains 6 questions. Each question has 4 options. One or more than one of these 4 options is correct. Marking scheme is as follows. Full marks, that is plus 4 if only all the correct options are chosen. Partial marks plus 3 if all the 4 options are correct but only 3 options are chosen. Plus 2 if 3 or more options are correct but only 2 options are chosen, both of which are correct options. Plus 1 if 2 or more options are correct but only one option is chosen and it is a correct option. 0 if none of the options is chosen. Minus 2 in all other cases. The potential energy of a particle of mass m at a distance r from a fixed point O is given by Vr equal to kr square by 2, where k is a positive constant of appropriate dimensions. This particle moving in a circular path of radius r about the point O, if v is the speed of the particle and L is the magnitude of its angular momentum about O, which of the following statements is true? Potential energy of the particle Vr equal to kr square by 2, force acting on the particle F equal to minus dv by dr, that is minus kr. So mv square by r equal to kr, v equal to root k by m times r. Angular momentum of the particle moving in a circular path L equal to mvr, so it is m times root k by m r into r, that is root mk r square. Consider a body of mass 1 kg at rest at the origin at a time t equal to 0. A force F equal to alpha Ti plus beta j is applied on the body where alpha equal to 1 Newton per second and beta equal to 1 Newton. The torque acting on the body about the origin at a time t equal to 1 second is tau bar. Which of the following statements is correct? Force on the particle F bar equal to alpha Ti plus beta j. Acceleration of the particle A bar equal to F bar by m, that is alpha Ti plus beta j, because mass is 1 kg. Velocity of the particle V bar equal to integral dv bar, that is 0 to t alpha Ti plus beta j dt, that is alpha t square by 2I plus beta tj. At t equal to 1 second, V bar equal to half of I plus 2j meter per second. Displacement of the particle V bar equal to dx bar by dt, that is dx bar equal to V bar dt. X bar equal to integral dx, that is integral 0 to t alpha t square by 2I plus beta tj dt, that is alpha t cube by 6I plus beta t square by 2j, which is t cube by 6I plus t square by 2j. Displacement of the particle at t equal to 1 second, x bar equal to 1 by 6 I plus 1 by 2j. For the force on the particle at t equal to 1 second, F bar equal to I plus j. So the torque on the particle tau bar equal to x bar cross F bar. Carrying out the cross product, we get tau bar equal to minus 1 by 3 k cap. So the magnitude of torque is 1 by 3 Newton meter. A uniform capillary tube of inner radius r is dipped vertically into a beaker filled with water. The water rises to a height h in the capillary tube above the water surface in the beaker. The surface tension of water is sigma. The angle of contact between the water and the wall of the capillary tube is theta. Ignore the mass of water in the meniscus. Which of the following statements are correct? Surface tension of water by capillary rise method, sigma equal to hr dg by 2 cos theta. For a given material of capillary tube, hr equal to 2 sigma cos theta by dg, that is h is proportional to 1 by r, other terms being constant. The experiment is performed in a lift going up with constant acceleration. So g effective equal to g plus a, gh equal to 2 sigma cos theta by dr, h is proportional to 1 by g, so h is proportional to 1 by g plus a. So options A and C are correct. In the figure below, the switches S1 and S2 are closed simultaneously at t equal to 0 and a current starts to flow in the circuit. Both the batteries have the same magnitude of electromotive force and the polarities are as indicated in the figure. Ignore mutual inductance between the inductors. The current I in the middle wire reaches its maximum magnitude I max at time t equal to tau. Which of the following statements is correct? Current in the first loop, let us say I1 equal to V by R times 1 minus e power minus R by L into T. Current in the second loop I2 equal to V by R times 1 minus e power minus R by 2L into T. Net current in the middle wire I equal to I1 minus I2, that is V by R times e power minus R by 2L into T minus e power minus R by L into T. For maximum current di by dt equal to 0. So d by dt of V by R times e power minus R by 2L T minus e power minus R by L T equal to 0. So that is V by R of minus R by 2L e power minus R by 2L T plus R by L times e power minus R by L T equal to 0. Please note that differential of e power kx is k times e power x. T equal to tau, that is equal to 2L by R ln 2. Substituting this value in the expression for current, we get I max equal to V by 4R. Two infinitely long straight wires lie in the xy plane along the lines x equal to plus or minus R. The wire located at x equal to plus R carries a constant current I1 and the wire located at x equal to minus R carries a steady current I2. A circular loop of radius R is suspended with its center at 0, 0, root 3 R and in a plane parallel to the xy plane. This loop carries a constant current I in the clockwise direction as seen from the above. The current in the wire is taken to be positive if it is in plus J direction. Which of the following statements regarding the magnetic field B bar is correct? If I1 equal to I2, then B bar cannot be equal to 0 at the origin. If I1 is greater than 0 and I2 is less than 0, then B bar can be equal to 0 at the origin. If I1 is less than 0 and I2 is greater than 0, then B bar can be equal to 0 at the origin. If I1 equal to I2, then the Z component of magnetic field at the center of the loop is minus mu naught I by 2R. As the circular coil is carrying current in clockwise direction, its magnetic field is vertically down, that is along a negative Z axis. Magnetic field due to infinitely long straight wire B equal to mu naught by 2 pi I by R. Magnetic field due to circular coil at the center B equal to mu naught I by 2R. When I1 equal to I2, the field at the center due to the wires is cancelled, so the field due to circular coil remains. If I1 is greater than 0 and I2 is less than 0, both the fields due to wires are in upward direction. As the field due to circular coil is downward, the resultant field can be 0. If I1 equal to I2, the field at the center due to the wires is cancelled. The field due to the circular coil remains in negative Z direction. So A, B and D are correct options. 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas undergoes a cyclic process as shown in figure where V is volume and T is absolute temperature. Which of the following statements is true? Process 1 is an isochoric process. In process 2, gas absorbs heat. In process 4, gas releases heat. Processes 1 and 3 are not isobaric. See the temperature volume graph. Process 2, temperature remains constant and the gas is expanding. So this is possible only when the gas absorbs heat. Process 4, temperature remains constant and the volume of the gas is decreasing. So the gas releases heat. In isobaric process, pressure remains constant. Ideal gas equation PV equal to nRT, T equal to PV by nR, that is T is proportional to V. So it is a straight line relation. So the process 1 and 3 are not isobaric. Section 2, maximum marks 24. This section contains 8 questions. The answer to each question is a numerical value. For each question, enter the correct numerical value in decimal notation, truncated or rounded off to the second decimal place. Answer to each question will be evaluated according to the following marking scheme. Full marks, that is plus 3 if only the correct numerical value is entered. 0 marks in all other cases. Two vectors A bar and B bar are defined as A bar equal to alpha I and B bar equal to alpha times cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, where alpha is a constant and omega equal to pi by 6 radian per second. If modulus of A bar plus B bar equal to root 3 times modulus of A bar minus B bar at t equal to tau for the first time, the value of tau in seconds is given A bar equal to alpha I and B bar equal to alpha of cos omega t I plus sin omega t j, and also given that modulus of A bar plus B bar equal to root 3 times modulus of A bar minus B bar. So root of A plus A cos omega t whole square plus A sin omega t whole square equal to root 3 times root of a minus a cos omega t whole square plus a sin omega t whole square. Simplifying and rearranging the terms, we have 2 cos omega t by 2 equal to plus or minus root 3 times 2 sin omega t by 2, which gives tan omega t by 2 equal to plus or minus 1 by root 3. Omega t by 2 equal to n pi plus or minus pi by 6, that is pi t by 12 equal to n pi plus or minus pi by 6, which gives us t equal to 12n plus or minus 2 seconds. So we get t equal to 2, 10, 14, so on. So the first value of t is 2 seconds. Two men are walking along a horizontal straight line in the same direction. The man in front walks at a speed 1 meter per second and the man behind walks at a speed 2 meter per second. A third man is standing at a height of 12 meter above the same horizontal line such that all the three men are in a vertical plane. The two walking men are blowing identical whistles which emit a sound of frequency 1430 Hz. The speed of sound in air is 330 meter per second. At the instant when the moving men are 10 meter apart, a stationary man equidistant from them, the frequency of the beats heard by the stationary man at this instant is. Frequency of the first whistle F1 equal to F times V by V minus Vs1 cos theta. Source is moving towards the observer. Frequency of the second whistle F2 equal to F of V by V plus Vs2 cos theta, that is source moving away from the observer. Beat frequency delta f equal to f1 minus f2, that is fv times 1 by v minus vs1 cos theta minus 1 by v plus vs2 cos theta. Delta f equal to fv times 2 plus 1 cos theta by v minus vs1 cos theta v plus vs2 cos theta, that is approximately 3f cos theta by v. So delta f equal to 3 into 1430 into 5 by 13 by 330, which is 5. A ring and a disc are initially at rest side by side at the top of an inclined plane which makes an angle 60 degrees with the horizontal. They start to roll without slipping at the same instant of time along the shortest path. If the time difference of their reaching the ground is 2 minus root 3 by root 10 seconds, then the height of the top of the inclined plane in meters is, take g equal to 10 meter per second square. Acceleration on the inclined plane a equal to g sin theta by 1 plus k square by r square. Time taken to roll down the inclined plane t equal to root 2l by a, that is 2 by a times h by sin theta, that is 1 by sin theta times root 2h by g of 1 plus k square by r square. Time taken by the ring t ring equal to 2 by root 3 times root 2h by 10 into 2, that is root 8h by 15. And time taken by the disc t disc equal to 2 by root 3 times 2h by 10 3 by 2 under root, that is root 2h by 5. T ring minus t disc equal to root 8h by 15 minus root 2h by 5, that is 2 minus root 3 by root 10. So h equal to 3 by 4, that is 0.75 meter. A spring block system is resting on a frictionless floor as shown in the figure. The spring constant is 2 Newton per meter and the mass of the block is 2 kg. Ignore the mass of the spring. Initially the spring is in its unstretched condition. Another block of mass 1 kg moving with speed 2 meter per second collides elastically with the first block. The collision is such that a 2 kg block does not hit the wall. The distance in meter between the two blocks when the springs return to the unstretched position for the first time after the collision is. Period of oscillation of a spring block system t equal to 2 pi root m by k, that is 2 pi root 2 by 2, that is 2 pi seconds in this case. Time taken by the spring to return to unstretched position for the first time after the collision is half of time period, that is pi seconds. Velocity of the first block after the collision v1 equal to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1, that is minus 2 by 3 meter per second. Displacement of the first block x1 equal to v1t, that is 2 by 3 pi, that is 2.09 meter. Three identical capacitors C1, C2 and C3 have a capacitance 1 microfarad each and they are uncharged initially. They are connected in a circuit as shown in the figure and C1 is then filled completely with a dielectric material of relative permittivity epsilon r. The cell electromotive force EMF V0 equal to 8 volt. First the switch S1 is closed while the switch S2 is kept open. When the capacitor C3 is fully charged, S1 is open and S2 is closed simultaneously. When all the capacitors reach equilibrium, the charge on C3 is found to be 5 microcoulomb. The value of epsilon r is charge acquired by C3 when S1 is closed, Q3 equal to CV, that is 8 microcoulomb. When the switch S2 is closed by opening the switch S1, all the 3 capacitors get connected in series. Applying KVL to the loop, minus Q by C2 minus Q by epsilon r C1 plus 8 minus Q by C3 equal to 0, that is minus Q by C minus Q by epsilon r C plus CV minus Q by C equal to 0. Given CV minus Q by C equal to 5, that is 1 into 8 minus Q by 1 equal to 5, which gives Q equal to 3 microcoulomb. Put this value in KVL. 5 equal to Q by C times 1 plus 1 by epsilon r, that is 3 by 1 times 1 plus 1 by epsilon r, which gives epsilon r equal to 3 by 2. In the xy plane, the region y greater than 0 has a uniform magnetic field B1 k cap and the region y less than 0 has another uniform magnetic field B2 k cap. A positively charged particle is projected from the origin along the positive y-axis with the speed v0 equal to pi meter per second at t equal to 0 as shown in figure. Neglect gravity in this problem. Let t equal to capital D be the time when the particle crosses the x-axis from below for the first time. If b2 equal to 4b1, the average speed of the particle in meter per second along x-axis in time interval t is. Radius of the circular path in B1, R1 equal to mv0 by qb1. Radius of the circular path in B2, R2 equal to mv0 by qb2, that is mv0 by q times 4b1. Total distance travelled by the particle along x-axis d equal to 2 times r1 plus r2, that is 2 times mv0 by qb1 of 1 plus 1 by 4, which is 5 by 2 times mv0 by qb1. Time taken by the particle to complete a semicircle in B1, T1 equal to pi m by qb1. Time taken by the particle to complete a semicircle in B2, T2 equal to pi m by qb2 equal to pi m by q times 4b1. So the total time T1 plus T2 equal to pi m by qb1 plus pi m by q times 4b1. 5 by 4 times pi m by qb1. Average speed of the particle is distance by time 5 by 2 mv0 by qb1 by 5 by 4 pi m by qb1, which is 2 meter per second. Sunlight of intensity 1.3 kilowatt per meter square is incident normally on a thin convex lens of focal length 20 cm. Ignore the energy loss of light due to the lens and assume that the lens aperture size is much smaller than its focal length. The average intensity of light in kilowatt per meter square at a distance of 22 cm from the lens on the other side is. Aerial magnification MA equal to AI by A0, that is area of the image by area of the object, which can be written as V square by U square, that is 2 by 20 whole square, from which we get area of the image equal to area of the object by 100. Intensity of light is inversely proportional to area, so I image by I0 equal to A0 by A image, that is I image by I0 equal to 100, which gives I image equal to 100 I0, that is 100 into 1.3, that is 130 kilowatt per meter square. Two conducting cylinders of equal length but different radii are connected in series between two heat baths kept at temperatures T1 equal to 300 Kelvin and T2 equal to 100 Kelvin as shown in figure. The radius of the bigger cylinder is twice that of the smaller one, and the thermal conductivities of the materials of the smaller and larger cylinders are K1 and K2 respectively. If the temperature at the junction of the two cylinders in steady state is 200 Kelvin, then K1 by K2 is. Two cylinders are connected in series. Thermal current through them is same. So I thermal 1 equal to I thermal 2. Delta theta 1 by R thermal 1 equal to delta theta 2 by R thermal 2. That is 300 minus 200 by R thermal 1 equal to 200 minus 100 by R thermal 2. So R thermal 1 equal to R thermal 2. L by K1A equal to L by K2 times 4A, which gives K1 by K2 equal to 4. Section 3, maximum marks 12. This section contains two paragraphs. Based on each paragraph, there are two questions. Each question has 4 options. Only one of these 4 options corresponds to the correct answer. Answers to each question will be evaluated according to the following marking scheme. Full marks, that is +3 if only the correct option is chosen. 0 marks if none of the options is chosen. Negative marks, that is -1 in all other cases. Paragraph 1. In electromagnetic theory, the electric and magnetic phenomena are related to each other. Therefore, the dimensions of electric and magnetic quantities must also be related to each other. In the questions below, E and B stand for dimensions of electric and magnetic fields respectively, while epsilon naught and mu naught stand for the dimensions of permittivity and permeability of free space respectively. L and T are dimensions of length and time respectively. All the quantities are given in SI units. The relation between E and B is speed of an electromagnetic wave V equal to E by B, that is E equal to VB, so E equal to B LT power minus 1. The relation between epsilon naught and mu naught is speed of light in vacuum C equal to 1 by mu naught epsilon naught, squaring on both sides C square equal to 1 by epsilon naught mu naught, which gives mu naught equal to 1 by C square 1 by epsilon naught. So mu naught equal to epsilon power minus 1 L power minus 2 T power minus 2. Paragraph 2. If the measurement errors in all the independent quantities are known, it is possible to determine the error in any dependent quantity. This is done by the use of series expansion and truncating the expansion at the first power of the error. For example, consider the relation z equal to x by y. If the errors in x, y and z are delta x, delta y and delta z respectively, then z plus or minus delta z equal to x plus or minus delta x by y plus or minus delta y. That is x by y times 1 plus or minus delta x by x, 1 plus or minus delta y by y whole power minus 1. The series expansion for 1 plus or minus delta y by y whole power minus 1 to the first power in delta y by y is 1 plus or minus delta y by y whole power minus 1. The relative errors in independent variables are always added. So the error in z will be delta z equal to z times delta x by x plus delta y by y. The above derivation makes the assumption that delta x by x is very much less than 1 and delta y by y is very much less than 1. Therefore, the higher powers of these quantities are neglected. Consider the ratio r equal to 1 minus a by 1 plus a to be determined by measuring a dimensionless quantity a. If the error in the measurement of a is delta a by a being very much less than 1, then what is the error delta r in determining r? Given r equal to 1 minus a by 1 plus a, differentiating with respect to a, delta r by delta a equal to 1 plus a of minus 1 minus 1 of 1 plus a by 1 plus a whole square. Here we have used u by v rule of differentiation. Delta r by delta a equal to minus 2 by 1 plus a whole square, which gives delta r equal to minus 2 delta a by 1 plus a whole square. So the magnitude of error is 2 times delta a by 1 plus a whole square. In an experiment, the initial number of radioactive nuclei is 3000. It is found that 1000 plus or minus 40 nuclei decayed in the first 1 second for delta x very much less than 1 ln 1 plus x equal to x up to the first power in x. The error delta lambda in the determination of decay constant is radioactive decay law, n equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. Apply ln on both sides. Ln n equal to ln n naught minus lambda t. Differentiating on both sides, delta n by n equal to 0 minus d lambda into t. Initial number of nuclei is 3000. Number of nuclei that decayed in 1 second is 1000 and the number of nuclei available after 1 second is 2000. So d lambda equal to dn by n into t, that is 40 by 2000 into 1, that is 0.02.